dancing.
I couldn't see you. I was looking at other shit. Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Ammunation. I hope you're all doing well on this Friday night on January 6th, the anniversary of the insurrection. Ooh, it's a big old deal.
2023.
Yeah. How do you know?
Fuck.
It's a messed up timeline, as you can see by the slate. Uh, so Nancy Pelosi's out of job. She's no longer Speaker of the House, and so now word has it that she's going to be working in the Oakville Trafalgar District School Board as a shop teacher, as you can tell by the slate. Anyway, I don't know how many people we got watching tonight. It says we have one person watching. I don't know if that's true. We'll see.
Costin is here. Costin is
Yay,
here.
Costin. Welcome, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in and joining us. I hope we get some more people. Oh, it says we have 6 people watching. Well, that's great. It's good to
Oh,
know.
cool.
Um, how are you, Irving? How was your week? I guess it's been a couple weeks since we did a live stream, right?
It's been a bit. Been a bit. We
Yeah.
had a whole Christmas and New Year's thing go on in between.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how have you been? How's work treating you? How's life treating you?
Yeah. Well, I'm fucking tired.
Sure, sure. Holidays do that to you. Did you overindulge over the holidays? Did you eat a little too
Uh,
much, drink a little too much?
Not overindulge, but just indulge and then some other things. And well,
I
I
over
like.
it. I
I bought
overindulged.
myself a new video game.
Oh yes, you were saying that. And
Yeah.
what's it called?
Planet Zoo.
Planet Zoo. Yeah, and I look differently ugly apparently because I'm not wearing glasses anymore. Planet Zoo. Can you explain to me what Planet Zoo's all about? Is this something I can get on the Steam?
It is, yeah. I don't know if the sale's still going on because I got a great deal on it. If you think $80 is a great deal on a whole bunch of ridiculousness that you don't really need.
Well, I would hope that comes with a bunch of downloadable like
Yeah,
extra content, right?
yeah. So it's
Mods and
the
such.
whole kit and caboodle. The what normally would have cost like $300, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, because they released the game and then they drop downloadable content for another 10-15 bucks every 3 months for 2 or 3 years. But the Steam sale, it was like 85% off and a bunch of discounts even across the DLC. So I got it all for $80. But I have been looking at it for a while. And I do like that kind of game, like Park Builders, City Builders, Empire Builders, whatever they. I have like the Jurassic Park games that are that way,
Oh
where
yeah. Okay.
you're running the park, you got to breed dinosaurs and shit, or clone them.
I've seen those. Those never really did it for me. If I'm gonna play in like a sandbox kind of thing, it's gonna be like an RPG, like where I'm like an
Mm,
individual, trying to build housing. My friends are really big into this that Valheim game, which
I've
is
heard
big.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's basically a Viking game where you're dead, but you end up in this place called Valheim, which is not Valhalla. It's like a an open world sandbox kind of thing where there's lots of enemies you got to fight, and then at the same time you're trying to build your house. And I see them talking. We have like a group chat. I see them talking about it, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna put in a hot tub. I'm like, they're playing fucking Dollhouse. They're playing Dollhouse, and occasionally they go out and they kill fucking zombies and shit. But it's essentially Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Uh, Irving Twin is the same type of ugly as before. Yes, Costin saying I'm differently ugly. I will allow CMAC to praise me profusely as a reward for watching this. Thank you for blessing us with your time, Costin. Yes, thank you, Costin. Welcome, CMAC. Thanks for showing up.
Hello,
Um,
hello.
I think she gave Costin that heart. I don't think that was directed at either you or I. Yes, I'm differently ugly because if you've been watching my channel, I made an announcement. I got LASIK done over the holidays, or just before the holidays on December 17th. I went in for surgery, got lasers blasted at my eyes, and now I can see with 20/20 vision for distance. But when it comes to close up, I gotta put these old readers on, so I look like an old man. But I am an old man, so that's par
Oh,
for the
you just
course.
need a chain.
Oh no, I got a little cord here. See?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slick.
It's just easier than like putting them in a pocket or a case or whatever, right? So I just keep them with me. Anyway, so that sounds cool. That sounds like a cool game.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a park builder type of thing. And
Yeah.
it's called Planet Zoo. So is it like an alien type of zoo kind of thing, or?
No, no, no. Just you can build zoos like in all different climates all over the world with
Oh,
different,
okay.
focus basically on different.
Biomes.
Yeah, yeah.
What would
But
be what would be cool is if you could be like an interplanetary zoo tycoon, where you can go off to other planets, collect their flora and fauna, and set up zoos on those planets.
I wouldn't be surprised if a game like that exists. It's just not super popular.
Probably.
Yeah, because there's SimCity and the Jurassic Park ones, and they're
Right.
great.
Right. I downloaded over actually just the other day because I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube about it. I downloaded a game called or not a game. I guess it's a tool called RPG Maker MZ, and it basically allows you to make those old school, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, not Breath of the Wild, uh,
Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana um, type of RPG games. So you got a little, pixelated sprite that wanders around the world, does quests, collects shit, gets new party members, levels up, that kind of stuff. So yeah, and to be honest, I never liked those games, but I do like storytelling. And originally my thought was, I'm gonna make an RPG where it's like the history of Canada Man, and it's how he woke up on July 1st, 1867, on the banks of the Ottawa River, and was taken in by an Algonquin shaman who gave him enchanted maple syrup on a 10 stack of pancakes, and that gave him his powers. That was going to be the original one, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a hard time finding all that, all the assets, and I don't really want to make the assets to make a superhero type of RPG. So I'm just going to do like a standard RPG, but this one I want to make a post-apocalypse kind of thing. And I'll set it in Canada, of course, because I'm Canadian.
Cool.
So let's see here. Costin gave a excited smiley to CMAC. Shh, Costin, says CMAC. I'm lying low. If anybody asks, I'm an old man on the internet. Just like those other mythical creatures. There's no women on the internet. Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There are no
I'm not
girls
real.
on the internet.
There are no girls on the internet. The 4chan told me that, and it's true. All the girls on the internet have dicks. Just go to R9K. I am not Sasquatch, and I am not Canada Man. Anyway, so what's on the docket for tonight? Let's take a look here. We'll start with something light and kind of hilarious. The reason I put the slate as what a timeline is because of what's going on right now in the United States with regards to their failure to elect a Speaker of the House. If you follow U.S. politics at all, Irving, have you been up on this at all? I don't think you have really been following.
Not the detail wise. I just know, yeah, it's been a struggle. I don't know who the guy is. Kevin McCarthy?
Kevin McCarthy, yeah. So he's a swamp creature. He's a uniparty, career politician who feels that he is deserving of this role. He was basically tapped by McConnell, who was the former leader of the Republicans in the House. I believe was it McConnell? Oh, was McConnell in the? No, it was Lindsey Graham. My mistake. McConnell's in the Senate. Anyway, so he was tapped essentially to lead the Republican Party post the midterm election, and everybody said, "Oh, he should be the speaker. He should be the speaker." But the fact of the matter is, he's a swamp creature. He's a career politician. He is not well liked by the Freedom Caucus, which is a group of about, I don't know, I want to say about 10 or 14 or 15 newer Republican representatives who are very MAGA, very populist, and want to drain the swamp, so to speak. So basically, they've been putting a roadblock up for him, and it's been 12 attempts now to elect a Speaker of the House, and he just can't get the numbers. And he's not really making any concessions either. And not only that, when he was sort of tapped or floated as the guy who's going to do it before this process began, Freedom Caucus members came to him and said, "Hey, so you'll get our support, but you need this, 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 and this." And he basically told him, get the fuck out of my office. I don't need your votes. I've got the votes. And now it turns out he doesn't have the votes. So, and he's not really making much in the way of concessions for what they want. And what they wanted was basically that any Republican congressperson in the House can call for a vote to replace the current speaker. So, so I can understand why he doesn't necessarily want to concede on that. But the other thing was basically something about being on committees and having subpoena power and stuff like that. What McCarthy apparently has talked about doing, or Democrats have talked about doing, is crossing over the aisle, basically supporting McCarthy if he denies Republicans subpoena. The Republicans don't have subpoena power, so basically they can't run any investigations. They can't do anything to look into corruption, that kind of stuff, right? So because that's the thing they're most afraid of. Republicans now having won the midterms, are they gonna start subpoenaing people who basically have been fucking people over for however many years now in the U.S., right? So anyway, long story short, it hasn't been going well, and he keeps inching closer, but he can't quite get over that threshold, which is I kind of like it, because if government's not sitting, they're not doing anything, which means they're not fucking people over. Until they elect a speaker, they can't get on with the business of legislation. Great, no new laws. I got no problem with that. But it's U.S., not my monkey, not my circus. But still, I like to see it. I like to see the populist wing sort of dig in their heels and upset the apple cart, so to speak. And then you got fucking, what's his name, Eye Patch McCain, Dan Crenshaw, calling them terrorists because they're blocking the process. Like, what happened to him? He seemed like a really reasonable, different kind of rep, and now he's come a total fucking swamp monster. I don't know what they got some dirt on him. If he went to Epstein's Island at some point. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Maybe he was like he would have been young on Epstein's Island, so maybe he was like a pool boy or something. Anyway, I am not Sasquatch. He says, I get capital girl, and a cape, a fur-lined cape. I think she said she wanted a fur-lined cape, but I could be wrong. Ranting Monkey is watching that vote now. Oh, are they voting again? So the 13th session is going on right now? Interesting. It feels like stalling for something. Yeah. I mean, we could take a look at it. Let's see what's going on there. Let me see if I can find it.
I do remember hearing that something like this hasn't happened.
Yeah, I think it's the first time. It's
1859.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can find.
But 1859, and then shortly after, there's a civil war.
True enough, right? Oh, all right, we can watch a little bit of it. I don't know how many people are interested in it, but we can watch a little bit of it.
Well, yeah, like what exactly is? Are they like doing debates or giving speeches and then taking a vote, or what?
I can't. They're taking the vote right now. I can't hear it. I don't know why. I have sound turned on. Did I turn off? Maybe it's because I'm streaming? That shouldn't matter, though.
No, yeah, you should be able to share with sound and everything, right? So.
Why is there no sound? Go to my sound. Well, you know what? Here, first and foremost, I will share it, because I've got the
Now adjourn until noon on Monday.
Live stream.
Will the gentleman repeat?
Will the gentleman repeat
You
his
can hear
motion?
It? Yep.
I move
I
the
can
House
hear it.
do now adjourn until
I wonder if
noon
people
Monday.
can hear it. Tell me in the chat, folks.
The
if you
question
can
is on
hear
the
what's
motion
going
to
on the screen
adjourn.
there.
All those in favor, say. The ayes have it. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no.
Oh, no, it should still be, because I shared audio and I shared it. Can you folks tell me, can you hear the audio of the proceedings there on the
In
YouTube?
the opinion of the chair, the noes have it.
For the yeas and nays, Madam Clerk asks for the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those
Austin.
favoring a vote by yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number
Austin
having
and
risen, the
C-Mac,
yeas and
same
nays
name.
are ordered.
Irving, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're not nearly as loud as the commotion going on.
That's so weird that you guys can hear it, but I cannot. That's so
it is
messed
very
up.
strange.
Motion to adjourn. Okay, so they weren't able to reach it, so now they want to adjourn because it's the weekend, right? They want to go home, and they want to make their backroom deals over the whole weekend and have time to consider it. You know, so. So there's more yays than nays there. Actually, it's pretty even split.
Oh, there's the nay lead.
This is the one where they vote by hitting a button on their fucking thing.
Jeez.
I hope it's nay, because the fact of the matter is, for what these dipshits get paid, they should sort this shit out. And quite frankly, I think McCarthy, after failing 12 times to gain the majority of voters to support him for House Speaker, he should say, "All right, I'm bowing out."
Seriously.
And nominate somebody else. Nominate another, even if you nominate another swamp creature who's willing to make concessions to the Freedom Caucus. The worst thing that he could do is make concessions to the Democrats before he makes concessions to other Republicans. But Matt Gaetz has been a total fucking he's been totally based. The other day, why am I in charging mode? This thing's plugged in. Did Melina unplug it again? No? Alright, the other day he voted for Trump.
Yeah, I heard.
He put up Trump. Actually, he didn't nominate Trump. He voted for Trump. So first, he put up Jim Jordan. And then Jim Jordan didn't get the votes. And then he put up Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds didn't get the votes. Today, it was Byron Donalds and somebody called Hearn that was put up by Lauren Boebert. And they basically split the Freedom Caucus vote. But what's his name? Jim Jordan voted McCarthy. And so did a bunch of other basically Freedom Caucus people who you thought would hold out. They voted McCarthy. Basically, they were told you've made your point, now you need to get behind, the party line kind of thing. And maybe they held something over them, maybe they promised them something, I have no idea. But after it failed on the 12th try, I would hope they go back and support, what's his name? Donalds. So, we'll see. Yeah, I think it's going to be a nay. There's only, 100 people left to vote? Or 70 people left to vote.
What a fucking timeline.
I went to get wine, says C-Mac. I went to get wine. I can't handle politics sober anymore. See, politics is my favorite spectator sport. I love watching this shit. I especially love watching the United States because it's so divided there. And we're hitting that here in Canada too. It's getting to the point where we're divided. But I don't think the Conservative Party in Canada has the balls enough to actually stand up and I mean, Poilievre says some good stuff, but they're not. The PPC is the only real Freedom Caucus we have here in Canada. Poilievre says some nice things, but I don't know how much of it he actually believes. Truth be told.
No, yeah, he's. I need the X-Files poster, but with a floating Poiliev face. I want to believe, but it's just
There you go. Speaking of X-Files, there's this YouTube channel. I don't know if you've watched it or not. It's called the Y Files. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's this guy runs this thing, and every week or so he puts up a video where he basically goes through some old paranormal story, and he presents all of the the paranormal story as it's told by the people who are advocating for it. And he's got this little sidekick, which is like a CG animated goldfish called Hecklefish, and it heckles him the entire time. And it's got like this tinfoil hat on its bowl. Anyway, it's funny. It's pretty funny. I mean, it's kind of cringy, but it's pretty funny nonetheless. Anyway, so he goes through this thing. He tells you about this, this abduction that took place and all the evidence for it and everything that was reported about it. Yada, 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 yada. And then, about 2/3 of the way through, but did it actually happen? Is it really true? And then he starts picking it apart with all the criticisms of it. And then he's like, but you decide. What do you think? Kind of thing, right? So,
Right.
But it's really well produced. It's really well done. And he's got a really good cadence for storytelling. And the Hecklefish just kind of makes it that much funnier. I love the X-Files LOL. I have actual props from the show. Really? That's cool. I liked the X-Files a lot. I think the first few seasons, it started to go a little off the rails for me at some points, but every season had its gems, you know what I mean? But it was it was good. I didn't like all the Monster of the Week stuff. I liked the plot that went on about the actual secret cover-ups. I liked the cigarette smoking man as a sub character. I liked a lot of the episodes. There were a few that were kind of dogs, but most of them I really liked. Pretty sure I realize that's creepy. I'm pretty sure I have David's DNA in a water bottle. I realize that's creepy, but it's mine. Hey, you know what? 10 years from now, we're going to be cloning people based on fucking toenail clippings. So there's going to be this huge market on the internet for people buying, a used Kleenex from Gillian Anderson, and somebody's going to clone Gillian Anderson in their basement.
A Gillian Anderson sex slave clone.
That's right, and then there's going to be a big brouhaha over whether or not clones have the same rights as naturally born people, and
Of course not.
why wouldn't they?
They're constructs.
What difference does it make? They're still living, breathing, sentient human beings.
Technicalities.
Shit. LOL, says C-Mac. Yeah. Ugh. So what do we got here? It's still close enough, right? Like
Yeah, but
they could come out. The yays could come out and take it. So Democrats are going nay. Republicans are going yay, except for 2 holdouts. I wonder why the Republicans want to they want to do it because they want to make their backroom deals. See, the Democrats actually hold the power in this situation, even though they're not going to be able to elect the speaker. They kind of hold the power because McCarthy either has to back away, basically withdraw, or he has to make huge concessions to the Freedom Caucus, or he has to cross the aisle and try and curry votes from a few Democrats, and they're not going to do it. They never break party lines. They never break ranks.
mm-hmm.
There were latex gloves in a backpack I bought. So you bought a backpack and there were latex gloves in it. And what, you think that has David Duchovny's DNA in it? Think he wore them? That's kind of weird. Maybe he did. How do you know it was his backpack? How do you know it wasn't like some grip? You set up your cloning lab, and then you realize it's the DNA of the gaffer who has a lazy eye and a hair lip. And you're like, ah, shit. I wanted me some sweet David Duchovny sex slavery, and now I've got this hair-lipped, lazy eye motherfucker. Season 2, yeah, end of Water Bottle, Season 2, Episode 1. Interesting. And he was using that particular prop in the show, Season 2, Episode 1. That's funny. Oh, that'd be awesome. Also. I take him. Sure, why not? Like, I mean, even if you can't seal the deal with the beast, you could get him to, I don't know, do your garden work or fucking clean your toilets or whatever, right? Yeah, reusable water. See, now me, because I'm an idiot, I would have washed that shit out and I would have used it as my own water bottle. And when people commented on the water bottle, I'm like, yeah, it was David Duchovny's in Season 2, Episode 1 of The X-Files. What? Really? Yeah, I got it. I bought it at an auction. Was that how you got it, C-Mac? Was it an auction? I don't know if Irving's having a coughing fit or he's going to get himself a drink. Where'd you go, Irving?
Just had to hork up some crap.
That's what I thought. He's probably having a coffee fit. Private auction. That's cool. Yeah, I've never been one to collect memorabilia from movies or TV shows. I do have a original script of The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, so like a working script. So you get, like, I don't know if it was actually used on set, if anybody read it, but there's a place in Toronto you can go where you can buy a bunch of movie stuff, so movie posters, things like that. And so scripts, when they're done with the movie, they don't burn them or dispose of them. They go away, right? They get rid of them, and then they wind up in shops like this. And so this could have been like a script. They probably printed like 100 copies of the script, and even though there's only like 24 principal actors or whatever in a movie, and some of those end up in these shops anyway. So a buddy of mine took me down there one time, and they had a script, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai and Across the Eighth Dimension. I'm like, fuck, I gotta have this. So I bought it. COA? What's COA?
Certificate of Authenticity.
Oh, does she have a certificate of authenticity? Hey, Bijan, thanks for coming out. Next 6 minutes is here. Swing on, I say hi, and the awesome Irving and Craig before the sleep. Irving, thanks for popping, or Six, thanks for popping by, and you have yourself a great night. We donate a bunch of stuff there, and Chris Carter goes for signings all the time. Oh, okay, cool. Is he a Canadian guy, Chris Carter? I know a lot of X-Files was filmed in Canada, but is Chris Carter from Canada? I have no idea. Are they going to adjourn? Oh, it's coming down to the wire. They're all yelling at each other. Come on, man. Vote to adjourn. 8 votes left to go.
I've had a hooker waiting in my hotel room since 9 o'clock.
Come on, man. She's 17 and she's fucking hot. You gotta let me go. Bunch of fucking slee stacks. We'll stay until we know if they're going to adjourn or not. Because if they don't adjourn, they're not going to do another vote right away. It's going to be held over till tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see what happens if they adjourn. Time to stop saying honest things about the next 6 minutes. Hey, C-Mac, no, we missed you. Oh shit, thanks, Costin. Fuck. I love to do an Ammunation / Casual AF meetup with all the people who regularly come out to our streams. I mean, it'd be like 8 people at a fucking bar somewhere, but I mean, it would still be cool. It would still
Why
be cool
not?
to do. I think it'd be fun to do. We're quasi-celebrities. I have 391 subscribers, man. That's like a big deal.
It's a lot.
You have 600 and something, right?
Something like that. Oh my god, it's tied.
Is it actually tied?
With 2 votes remaining.
2 left to go? Oh my god, who's gonna break it? That's so funny. I don't lie about you behind your back. We could take over a Boston Pizza. Yeah, totally.
Oh, gross.
You don't like well, no, you're an Italian boy. You like real pizza. Take over a Papa John's.
Ugh.
Telling you, man, you don't order regular pizza from Papa John's. You got to get a specialty pizza, like their Donair pizza or their Philly cheesesteak pizza. The regular pizza is just meh.
Looks
They
like
are
we're
voting.
adjourning.
They are voting to adjourn. All right, well there you go. And one person did not vote. Well, there you go. They are voting to adjourn. Oh wait, no, the time's off. No, it's tied. It's actually fucking tied.
Oh, but the time ran out already.
Yeah,
They
but
had 15 minutes to press their fucking button. You can't change your mind at after 0.
I don't know if they're gonna count it though. I don't know if they're gonna count those 2 votes.
This is going to start looking like some of those like lesser European parliaments, and people are going to start throwing punches. Look at the tension in there.
Oh, I know, right? Like you can hear it, I can't. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, just look at the body language.
Oh yeah, people are upset. But are you hearing people shouting at each other? There's Gates. People are so mad at Gates right now. He's so fucking based. I love that guy. My brother hates him. He hates Matt Gates. I'm like, why do you hate Matt Gates? He's just an idiot. Yeah, but why do you hate him? He's an idiot. Oh, okay, well, what makes him an idiot? 'Cause he is. Okay, all right, well, there you go, brother. Whatever you say, pal. Why did you mention Boston Pizza, C-Mac? Is that a meme? Is that to do with something? Was there a Boston Pizza that was taken over by something recently? It sounds familiar. Like, I seem to remember something about a Boston Pizza recently. Matt Gates needs professional protection. Yeah, he should get it because, they could totally arcanicide him.
Jeez, look at all these votes changing.
What? Votes changing? How do they get changed?
Dominion voting machines.
That's funny. All right, well, fuck this. I'm not going to dwell on this too much. It's American politics, and we're Canadian. We need to talk about Canadian shit. So let me stop sharing. Go back to our regular thing.
But wow.
Yeah, it's such a fucking clown show over there, right? Part of me wishes it was a clown show here. Part of me wishes there was that kind of shit going on in our house. And I was watching Tim Pool today, and he was saying, I guess the clerk was saying, representatives are reminded not to direct comments to other House members, that all discussion should go through the chair, kind of thing, right? And Tim Pool say, if they ever said that to me, I just tell them to go fuck himself. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you could do that, right? What are they going to do? I mean, I guess they could add, because it's just considered civil, right? But I don't think there's any rules that say you must do it that way, right? It's a matter of,
no.
I think it's just it's the cordialness of the process, but I don't think there are hard fast rules about doing it that way. I could be wrong. In Canada, there very well might be, because
there is.
We're closer to a parliamentary. We're a parliamentary.
Farce.
Yeah, parliamentary farce. We're a parliamentary democracy, taking after the the English tradition. But I'd still, if I were a Canada man up there in the House of Commons, full dressed up, and the what do you call it, the speaker said, "You were reminded not to direct your comments directly to other House members." I'd just say, "Fuck you." No, I wouldn't, because Canada man doesn't swear.
Canada man don't curse.
Yeah, he's like, "Take off, you hoser." That's what he'd say. Mr. Speaker, would you kindly ask My counterpart on the other side
To
to take
consider
off
made.
to consider made. That's funny. So no, this Boston Pizza comment was not about anything in the news recently. It was just a random thing. I don't mind Boston Pizza. It's kind of jank. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, you know how Olive Garden isn't real Italian food? Boston Pizza isn't real like pizza. It's
A, lo-
it's
a lot of those restaurants are the reason black people make fun of white people for not seasoning their food. Like it's completely
Yes,
flavorless. You
it's
just
so
go there and
bland.
you're just chewing on something, but it doesn't taste like anything.
You take a look a lot of cuisine that comes from North America, and it all seems to have the same tone. It's all beige. Everything's fucking beige because if it's not fried, it's boiled to the point where it has no color. It's shades of beige and brown. The only time you might see some color is if you got a salad, but even that, orange is the dominant color because they fucking slather it with cheese. But but yeah, it's a little crazy. All right, let's move on from the speaker shenanigans and talk about something a little closer to home. Submit to re-education or no license for you. You've of course heard about this, Mr. Twin, haven't you?
I just started reading about it on the can this morning on
Oh, did
Twitter.
you?
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't get into the details of it because I was busy.
Yeah. So
But
essentially, it's Bill C-11 run amok before it's even passed. A government body that isn't directly related to the government. It's its own private body operating within the province of Ontario. Issued a decree, I guess you'd call it, to Jordan Peterson that he has to submit himself to social media re-education training,
coaching,
coaching on his own dime. So he's got to pay this, by the way.
yeah,
So it's like 200 something bucks a day or whatever. And basically because there was a complaint about him, because I guess on the Ontario College of Psychologists, or psychology or whatever, they have a complaint system where anyone can complain about any of their psychologists, whether they're patients or not, whether they've dealt with them in a professional capacity or not. So people have been sending shit about stuff he's been tweeting. They've been sending shit about stuff he said on Joe Rogan and how it's caused harm and all this sort of shit, right? So he just said like, well, whatever, go fuck yourself. we'll take it to a higher court.
I wonder how much of it had to do with the comments that he was making about Ellen Page.
Part of it had to do with that, yes. Yeah, part of it had to
And
do with that, but again, it's political speech. It's free speech, right? Not in a capacity, and arguably, he's making statements that are in keeping with. I think I'm popping here. That are in keeping with his understanding of the literature as it pertains to human psychology. So, like, there's no official sort of doctrine as far as how people should be treated in Ontario psychologically. I mean, you have to be credentialed essentially, and that's about it. And he's credentialed, so the advice he gives to a patient, I say that's fair game. Somebody wants to complain about advice he gave to somebody, and
right,
then they ended up making their life worse or whatever because they followed his recommendations and it ended up making their lives worse. Fine. Or if he was unprofessional, or if he was dismissive of their problems or something like that, right? Then yeah, okay, make a complaint. People on the internet making complaints, give me a break. So he is fighting it. He's taking it to a higher court in Ontario. I mean, he doesn't even live in Ontario anymore. He lives in Tennessee. I think he's still a Canadian citizen, but he lives in Tennessee. We got a few comments here. Let me just.
yeah, I just want to say, C-Mac, you're not wrong. I have been neglecting my broccoli breakfast for the holiday season. It's just sort of got away from me there.
Bajan says, take off the papers and the trash. I think that's take out the papers and the trash, or you won't get no spending cash. Yakety yak. Don't talk back. Trample off, turdope. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Like the buffet near Niagara Falls. Which buffet? There are lots of buffets. There's like the what do you call it? That one where they fucking cut meat off and put it on your plate. What's that
Oh,
place?
that like a Brazilian place?
Yeah, yeah, it's like that. It's like they come around with a big fucking skewer of meat and then they
And then the
shape.
barbecued pineapple.
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
No, I haven't been around Niagara Falls in years now.
Me neither. I like Niagara Falls though. We went there for New Year's one year. Saw the Jeff Healey band play. It was freezing.
Cool.
It was freezing cold. I have a crazy diet. LOL. Black fruits are good for you. So like blackberries, blueberries, that kind of stuff. You need more fiber, Irving. Fruits have fiber. The People's
Somewhat.
Court. It's impotent. Tasteless. I have no idea what Bajan is referring to, but maybe I'm speaking too fast and I'm not connecting back to what I've said.
Yeah,
But
probably
anyway.
talking about my BMs on live stream is a little tasteless. Yeah, absolutely.
Were you talking about your bowel moves? No, you were just
Yeah.
talking about the amount of fiber in your diet.
Oh yeah, Twitter. That's how I found out.
I do not eat well, and as a matter of fact, I indulged a little bit too much over the holidays. I'm sure I put on weight, but I don't have glasses anymore, so that makes up for it.
No, I mean, honestly, like for a long time now, but it's just been the past couple of weeks because holiday stuff. There's treats and special cooking.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
my birthday and shit like that, right? So just eating a little bit more, indulgently. But yeah, for breakfast, what I have is raw broccoli and black coffee. That's my breakfast.
That's fiber.
Yeah, it's like literally just fiber.
I drink water like all day with
Mhm.
with a couple of those little like flavor shots. Just because water gets boring, and it's like calorie-free flavor shots. They're like those little Mio squirt things, but they aren't Mio. They're like no-name brand. I drink that all day, and at lunch, today for lunch I had toast, and then dinner I had Five Guys, burgers and fries. So good. I love Five Guys. Yes, we all consume too much sugar, Costin. Sugar is poison. We
Yeah.
shouldn't be eating it at all. As a matter of fact, refined sugar was originally created by a guy who was trying to find a cheap form of pig feed, something that would fatten them up. So they basically made refined sugar that they could just eat the sugar, and it would fatten them up, and all the fucking pigs died because all they were eating was sugar. It will kill you. Sugar will kill you. We shouldn't eat sugar at all. As a matter of fact, bread, we probably shouldn't be eating bread at all. But I like bread.
Bread's not the culprit. Like it's the sugar.
I mean like white bread. You know what I mean? Like white bread, you may as well eat cake. You may as well just eat fucking birthday cake without icing.
It's just cake, bro. Yeah, like if you look at the ingredient list of most white breads and cake, it is just in fact cake. But I love
C-Mac
asparagus.
had salmon and asparagus for dinner. Yeah, I like both salmon and asparagus. Your pee's gonna smell, haha. But as far as fish goes, I like a very mild fish. I like light fish. I like whitefish. I like tilapia. I like halibut, haddock, and
Yeah.
those are very fatty, buttery fish, and they're probably not the best fish to eat. But I guess it's better than eating like a lot of pork or red meat. I like red meat. I like red meat.
Yeah, what do they call it? Pescatarian. I think that's probably the healthiest average meal, like lifestyle
Yeah.
for human
My
consumption.
my feminist friend in Guelph, who I get in arguments with all the time, she's a pescatarian. She was a long-time vegetarian for moral reasons because she didn't like the way animals were bred for food, and she thought
But
it was
then she
immoral.
learned the wisdom of nirvana, and it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings.
No, I don't think that's it. I think she just and the thing is, she talked about how much she missed bacon, and she really likes meat. She doesn't eat it because she's made this decision, right? And so she finally moved on to start eating like things like shellfish, like shrimp and things like that. And I'm like, fish are practically vegetables. So, so she's a pescatarian.
Look, I'll tell you right now, it's okay to eat pigs because no questions asked. A pig would eat you.
Yep,
They'll
probably.
just fucking eat you.
Yeah, what was that serial killer out west who's feeding his victims to the pigs because they eat just about everything. They eat almost all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll eat the clothes and hair and teeth and everything. Like,
new cereal, just fiber. Broccoli could be one of the flavors. Yeah, broccoli flavored cereal. Could you imagine somebody made like a cereal that was in the shape of broccoli florets and was like bright green? That would be good.
but it's all sugar. It's just like the marshmallow.
Yeah. It's just like Captain Crunch. It's Captain Crunch. So when you actually eat it, it cuts the roof of your mouth. But it's shaped. It looks like broccoli. Oh man, that's funny. I also have an indoor hydroponic vegetable garden in my house. That's cool.
Greg, you know how I've said when I grow up I want to be you?
You want to be CMAC now.
When I grow up I want to be CMAC now.
That's good for you. I was thinking, like I've always had this idea of having like an off-grid house somewhere in the woods, and the whole thing was I would collect rainwater, and I would, cook with it, eat with it, that kind of stuff. And then I started watching things about aquaponics. So not only are you growing your vegetables in a hydroponic way, but
the waste goes down.
The waste from the fish. Yes, the waste feeds the fish. The fish live off of like the the roots and stuff like that, and then in turn their waste fertilizes the plants. And aquaponics I think is the way to go. I imagine on Mars when they're able to set up colonies there, they're going to be relying heavily on aquaponics, not just hydroponics but aquaponics.
For sure.
Costa says I can't eat salmon. Oh no, why, Costin? Well, I can, but the aftertaste. Yeah, the lettuce issue hasn't affected me, lol. Yeah, I know, lettuce is crazy expensive right now.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Was it Cardi B was talking about it?
What?
Yeah, she came out and started tweeting, what the fuck's going on with lettuce? It's like $9 a head.
I swear to God, I used to pay like 69 cents for a head of iceberg lettuce.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. My mom and father grew up, they were born around the time of the Depression, right? So my mom had a whole bunch of recipes that her mom had made for her that her and my dad just loved. And one of them was a dish called cream salmon and peas. And so it wasn't like fresh salmon. No, it was canned salmon, like Gold Leaf or Sun-Kissed or whatever, Star-Kissed or whatever. Canned salmon. And it was like filled with little fucking bones, and she would make like a cream sauce with peas in it and the salmon from the can, and then she'd put it on toast. And my dad loved it. My brother and I hated it, and I especially hated it because for the longest time and still to this day, I don't like eating food on bones. If I can avoid eating a steak on a bone, I'll eat a steak without a bone. Okay. I don't like T-bone is my least favorite cut because I don't like cutting around the bone. I don't like eating chicken breast on a bone. I will cut it off the bone before I put it on my plate. So all these little bones that were in it, she's like, I took the bones out. I'm like, no, you didn't. Fucking found like 16 of them. Anyway. We're not talking about Jordan Peterson, but it's okay. I've prepped for surviving the reset, LOL. Good for you. So do you have like a cabinet? I know you're in Kingston.
She has a seed binder.
I have a seed binder. Oh, that's cool. So like that place in, was it Switzerland or whatever? Is it Switzerland or Sweden? Where they have that basically the Ark where they have all the seeds and all the genetic material.
Oh, it's Norway. It's in Svalbard.
Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, the island Svalbard.
Bones are good for collagen production. I'm sure they are. I'd just as soon eat a bunch of gummies.
Just gotta grind them a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll eat a bunch of gummy bears before I'll eat fucking bones. Bones are good for you. I'm sure they are. Yeah, but I'm not. I don't like taking on bones.
Okay, carry it for a minute.
All right. So let's go back to the submit to re-education or no license for you. So here's the thing. Like, Peterson is fighting this. Good for him. He's not going to submit to this. I'm happy about that. I'm interested in knowing your thoughts. Do you think this is related to Bill C-11, which is basically an internet censorship bill, for lack of better term. So, yeah, I'm just I'm saddened and dismayed by the state that Canada has turned into, and we need to get that piece of crap out of office as quickly as possible. LOL, I have EDS. I don't make collagen, so I like bones. Oh, EDS, is that... I don't know what that syndrome is, but that's all good. So you can't make collagen. So what does that affect in terms of your physiology? Is that... So skin... Your skin was affected, your hair would be affected, right? All of the sort of the epidermis stuff would be affected by the inability to make collagen. Well, I make it, but it's messed up. Okay, that's very interesting. When Irving comes, okay, so it's the same thing the Maid commercial chick had that died. Oh no shit! Wow, that's bullshit, man. I lost a kidney. Oh no! That's brutal. In my early 20s. Wow, it's just getting more brutal. Do you have to use dialysis? Not that it's the name of my business, but since you're divulging. Do you have to go for dialysis? Is your other kidney sort of picking up the slack, doing the job? I know that some people who lose a kidney, their other kidney sometimes can't keep up, so to speak. I'm actually symptom free now. Well, that's great. That's good for you. Awesome. Just learned out a bunch more about CMAC.
I could hear.
Yeah. But yeah. What do you think, Irving? What would you are you a licensed forklift operator?
Yes, actually.
Okay, so you have a license to operate a forklift. Now, could you imagine if the whatever the body for licensing people to use a forklift,
The Global Forklift Authority.
Yeah, came to you and said, listen, we don't like your YouTube channel. You got some spicy takes, so you need to submit to training, or we're going to take away your forklift license. That's essentially what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horseshit. So they took the bad kidney out. She's fine. That's great. It's good to know. That's good to know. She lost her kidney in her 20s. That's brutal. Sometimes I think my kidneys are going on me, and it's from years of abuse.
Apparently sugar's the worst thing for kidneys.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Sugar is literal poison. If I could cut out sugar completely, I'd try. Here's the thing. I don't drink sugary drinks anymore. I'm a diet drink kind of guy. And I don't know the long-term effects of aspartame, but I know the long-term effects of sugar. It'll fucking kill you. So in terms of taking care of your kidneys, what do you do to take care of your kidneys? Are there any vitamins or supplements that people should take with regards to their kidneys? Irving, you're all healthy and shit.
I don't know about things that you can take to aid your kidneys. I know drinking a lot of water and not overdoing it with your proteins is gonna help your kidneys last longer.
Okay.
Right. Like a lot of those bodybuilder dudes, the amounts of meat that they have to consume to maintain their muscle mass, it really, like vitamin C, eh? Stinging nettle tea. But vitamin C is just good for all of you.
Yeah, vitamin C is very good. Vitamin D is also like a low protein diet. Okay. So by protein, do you mean animal protein specifically, or do you mean like all forms of protein, like beans and legumes and stuff like that?
Yeah, like animal protein specifically, but all proteins are going to have some kind of effect, right? Because anything excess that you're not actually converting into energy or more muscle mass is going to have to pass through your kidneys at some point, basically. So, yeah.
See, because I'm trying to find a diet that I can do that's easy, that'll help me lose weight, but will still give me calories, like calorie-dense foods. part of me was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to eat hard-boiled eggs. I'll just eat a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, but I know that that's probably not good for me because there's a lot of the bad cholesterol, so to speak, and that's very high protein. But I'm thinking it's also got a lot of good shit in it. Eggs have got a lot of good shit in them. And then I was thinking, well, maybe, you know what? Like in the morning, I'll get my water because I don't typically eat in the morning, and I know I should because I need a bit of energy to get started. So I think in the morning what I might try doing for the next couple of weeks is I will have a big tablespoon of peanut butter and some water, and just lunchtime I'll break and maybe I'll either have some more peanut butter or I'll have a peanut butter sandwich, and then dinner I'll have a regular dinner.
So, geez, because so many people are doing this carnivore diet thing, right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I would never recommend to anyone an extreme diet of any kind, which includes carnivore, veganism, and even vegetarian.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. Like, humans are omnivores, right? The things that are really bad for us are sugar. The things that are really good for us is basically everything else, right? So, but we need to eat a wide variety of foods, right?
Right. No, I know I can't live off of just peanut butter. That's not what I'm talking about.
See, now hold on though. You can't, but slice up an apple, smear the peanut butter on the apple slices. Now you're getting your good fibers, which mitigates sugar intake,
That's true.
right? And all the vitamins in the apple, so it's not just naked proteins and fats and some fiber coming out of the peanut butter, right?
Right. That's too much
and
prep, man. I just want to stick a spoon in peanut butter and eat it.
Slice the apple before you go to work, and then you have it at work for your lunch. Because that used to be my lunch. I'd have broccoli and black coffee for breakfast, sliced apple with peanut butter for lunch, and then something like 2 cans of tuna.
Yeah, I was big on tuna for a while. Like there was time when I was just every time I break for lunch, I just open a can of tuna and I just like put a little bit of mayo in it, a little bit of hot sauce, some salt and pepper, and I just eat it. Anthocyanins and color pigments are medicine. Yeah, well, that's what they say about, like, if you are going to eat fruits and vegetables, the darker the fruit, the more antioxidants, and the better it is for you. So, like blueberries, blackberries, you know, any dark colored fruit, like red grapes as opposed to green grapes, right, are supposed to be much better for you than their lighter counterparts. That's what I've heard anyway. Lose weight equals lemon water. Yeah, lemon actually helps kickstart that, right? It helps your metabolism. I think it's the acidity. I think we need more acid and more vinegar in our diets, like more acidic. That's why like pickled foods are so good. So like, what do you call it? Kimchi and fucking sauerkraut. Those things are really good for you. Carnivore is fine for short bursts. Yeah, I mean I could just eat. I just like. I've thought about doing the carnivore diet for the express purpose of losing weight. I don't want to just do it indefinitely. I ferment my garden carrots. That'd be good. I've never had pickled carrots. Bet you pickled carrots are good. Anyway, yeah. This also has nothing to do with.
No, it does, because he's on the carnivore diet like a
That's
fucking
true.
animal.
He
like,
is on.
holy
He's on
shit.
the. Yeah, him and Michaela are both on the lion diet, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, I imagine those kinds of things can work for a very small percentage of people.
Yeah.
But for most people, you need a variegated diet. You need to eat a lot of different stuff, right?
Yeah.
And even if you're doing it like, yes, in short bursts. So like Monday you're a vegetarian and Tuesday all you eat is steak. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right? But you need a lot of greens, leafy greens, cruciferous greens, and then you need, some fruits, but I'd prefer fibrous fruits, which means despite the antioxidants, fewer blueberries and grapes and more raspberries and pears.
Oh,
right?
Really? See, I hate red onion. I like white onion. I like Vidalia onion. I like, sweet onion. But
You
I
like the
hate...
pussy onions.
No, Look, Vidalia is a hot onion, but
You can bite into it like a fucking apple.
no, I'm thinking then the white onion. It's the white onions that can be hot, right?
Yeah, it can be
I
pretty
just don't like.
Great
I
on a
don't.
sandwich.
I don't like red onions. I don't know what it is.
Even in a salad, like just a standard garden salad, red onion, tomato, iceberg lettuce.
No, see, in a standard salad, I like green onions, like scallions. Melina will chop them up, put them in the salad. And I'm very lucky because Melina's a great cook, and she always makes sure we have veggies with our food. So yeah, and like she does rice, and I'm like I prefer like potatoes, but she's like no rice. I guess rice is supposed to be better for you. I have no idea, but
You can mix it up. I mean, neither is bad for you.
yeah,
It's just the quantities, right? Like, I mean, when you look at how much the extra large fries that you're eating, along with a bun on your Five Guys burger, that's that's a whole lot of carbs for very little like actual nutrients, right?
right.
It's just calories. But a baked potato alongside your broccoli and your nice slice of like big chunk of salmon or something, you're good. You'll be fine.
Yeah. See, I'm a big mashed potato guy, and so when Melina makes mashed potatoes with our dinner, she makes a lot of them, and so I'll have like a couple tablespoons on the plate.
Irving needs a chef. Irving cooks dinner for everybody else.
And then there's always leftovers, and of course before I go to bed at night, there's the pot there. It's still got the mashed potatoes in it because I didn't clean the dishes right away, and so I'm grabbing a spoon and I'm just fucking eating the mashed potatoes. They're so good. I love them so much.
For the longest time, I couldn't eat mashed potatoes. Didn't
Really?
matter how good people's mashed potatoes were. I was like, oh, these are the best mashed potatoes. And I'd put it in my mouth, and I love potatoes. I love fries. I love chips. Like, nice chunky fucking, what do you call those? Like home fried stuff with the skin.
Yeah.
Still on. Oh, I love potatoes.
Yeah.
And I just had this thought, I can chew my own fucking food. Thank you. Right? Like, I want my potato back. And it finally occurred to me just a few years ago, it's soup. And now I eat it, and I think, soup, and it's potato soup, and
well,
it's quite nice.
if your mashed potatoes are runny to the consistency of soup, they've been overdone.
No, just
put too much milk in them or whatever.
No, just like the normal mashed potatoes that everybody loves. I have to think about it like I'm eating a soup. Otherwise,
I guess,
in my
right?
head,
Because you
it
don't
doesn't
really, because there's not a lot of foods that we mash up into like a fluffy pile like we do potatoes.
No,
we do
like
squash.
imagine you took the cup back and it tasted all steak, and you're just drinking this like mush that's like, no, there's something wrong there. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And as long as I think about it like a bisque, it's a potato bisque, then I can eat it.
Yeah, I get your point. Because mashed potatoes are one of those dishes where we don't have a lot of examples of mashed foods like we do potatoes. I mean, at Christmas time and Thanksgiving, you might mash up some yams or some squash or whatever, right? But again, those are starches, right? But anyway, okay. So C-Mac says raw garlic, Craig. Yeah, I like garlic. I really love garlic. Let the garlic sit for 10 minutes after you chop it up to sit the Allison. I don't know what Allison is. Irving needs a chef. Irving, like he said, he cooks for the entire house. LOL. Stop ruining food.
Hey, look. Once you pour the milk into the cereal, is it a beverage or a broth?
No.
What's going on?
Cereal is soup. That's all there is to it. And oatmeal is technically stew. So.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Quick oatmeal.
Yeah.
Right? I used to just microwave with a little water and then put like a teaspoon of peanut butter into the oatmeal and mix it up really good. And it's like eating warm peanut butter cookie dough.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be, wouldn't it?
Get a lot of fiber that way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And you get you get protein from but there's sugar in the I mean, if you made your own peanut butter without anything adding to it, it'd probably be better for you. But have you ever tried like no sugar added peanut butter?
Yeah, you have to keep it in the fridge.
Doesn't have sweeteners in it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's fucking terrible.
No, I love it. You got to keep it in the fridge though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because it's basically just raw mixed up peanuts, right? Um, I need more alcohol. LOL. You can mash carrots. Yeah, you could mash carrots, but I like them. I like them cut up, or I like baby carrots or whatever. Quinoa, Craig, it's better than potato. I don't like quinoa. I've tried it. I don't mind it, but it's not my favorite. It's not my go-to.
See, my sister does like the quinoa with like she chops up leeks and carrot, like shaves the carrots and all kinds of shit goes in there, and she seasons it really nicely. And yeah, on the side of something, it's great. You know,
I'll put cold quinoa in a salad. That's fine. I don't mind that. But like it sparingly. I couldn't eat like a quinoa like it's a side like it's mashed potatoes. That's just too much quinoa for me. Um, but yeah. But speaking of health and diet and staying alive and EDL, what was it she said she had? EDS. 31,000.
31 fucking thousand. 31,000 medically assisted deaths in 2022. Now the third leading cause of death in this country.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And we're a population of what? 33 million? 34 million?
38.
Oh, 38
38.
million. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's a decent chunk. I mean, it's not like 10% or anything. If 10% of our population was killing itself, then we'd have a problem. I mean, not as far as Justin Trudeau and Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates are concerned, but yeah. No, that's messed up. Like the idea that the government would be. First off, government says to you, don't worry, we're going to take care of your health care. You're never going to have to worry about paying a hospital bill or paying for your doctor because we're going to take care of it. You're going to get top-notch care, right? Oh, and you're not going to have any other alternative unless you want to go out of country and pay out of pocket, as well as pay taxes to cover this healthcare system. You can't opt out.
Yo, you got to pull up these comments from CMAC here.
We'll just kill you instead. Okay, where are we here? Okay, so mix it with brown rice. Yeah, I could do that, I guess. Yeah, we were calling EDS patients asking us how much pain we are in. What? They're actually reaching out to you to solicit aid? That's insane. 6 that I know of now. Wow. That's fucked up. They are fucking out of us. LOL. Like, I'm
Yeah,
packing.
That's.
That's messed up.
Do you remember that? Was it? It's an episode of South Park, right? Where fucking Butters has this ninja star in his eye, so he has to go to the vet because he can't go to a real doctor because he'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
And the shelter doctor is like, "Here you go, buddy. I got a dose of sweet murder for you." And he's trying to let's find another dog to murder. And they're going to put right. That's what the government is now doing. They're seeking out people to put them down.
Wow. They spent a ton of money opening a special clinic for us in Toronto, and I think they leaked the patient list. Well, the government would have access to it anyway, even if it's a private hospital, private clinic. Government would still have access to it because it all goes through the Ontario health system, right? That's so wrong. That is, it drives me nuts. And the fact that it's not really being talked about, it's being talked about by guys like you and me and other people who comment on YouTube and people who comment on the internet. Government's not, or the mainstream media, legacy media is not covering it.
No.
They might mention it in passing, but they might do like a Sunday expose on it. But then, radio silence, nothing. And nobody's holding the government to account for this stuff. And you see these things. If you're a veteran of the RCMP or the armed forces, and you want and you're having trouble, please call us. And they put this number. And I made a joke the other night while I was watching it on YouTube. And I said, "Yeah, just call us, and then we'll help you self delete." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Just this ad. I'm making a snarky comment. I'm not on the pain clinic list, so they haven't bothered me yet." That's fucked up, man. That's so fucked up. I refused pain management. Oh, good. Just smoke some weed. Smoke weed every day. You don't even need a prescription for it anymore. Just go buy it.
Yeah.
Just eat. Actually, I don't like weed, eh? I don't like smoking it. I don't like vaping it. I don't like smoking it. I like eating it. I am an edible guy. I had one in the summer, and I'm like, this is my kind of high. I'm not paranoid, and I'm just chill. I like this a lot. LOL, mushrooms are better. Psilocybin. I swore off hallucinogens since college. Sorry.
I don't know about for pain management, but in general, yes.
Yeah.
Low dose, 6 months out.
Yeah, I've heard about microdosing LSD, microdosing hallucinogens to help deal with all manner of issues, like even just to like.
I know depression and addiction
Yeah.
are big things, but I didn't know about pain management. That's actually
I think it just helps with mental health in general, helps with focus, helps with attention, helps with staying, sort of grounded and on the straight and narrow in terms of, your time management and everything, right? So it probably just gives you a better sort of outlook and approach to life kind of thing, right? I don't have pain, I have anaphylaxis. So that's an autoimmune response, right? Anaphylaxis? I have one of the world's rarest allergies. Oh, wow. That's so weird.
to what are you allergic, C-Mac? Because you can't leave us hanging like that.
I'm allergic to this guy Pedro in El Salvador. Just him. So when he dies, I'm cured. I'm allergic to
Is
stress.
that a thing? Because I know people can be allergic to like light and to electromagnetics. Like if
Nah,
they're
that's
people,
Better Call Saul. That's horseshit.
no. I have seen this. A
Yeah.
person walks among the TVs and starts sneezing uncontrollably and has to
Oh,
leave.
really?
Yeah. Not that, oh, it causes me pain and shit. It's like, no, it's an allergic reaction. Their eyes well up and they're sneezing and like, I have to
No
leave.
shit, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. Allergic to stress. I mean, stress is a killer. It's bad. It's called cholinergic urticaria with severe anaphylaxis. So you have an autoimmune response when you get stressed out. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I would hate that. I hope you have a very relaxing and not stressful job, because I don't know how I'd be able to deal with something like that. Mind you, I don't get
Microdosing,
I don't get
apparently.
microdosing. Yeah, I've been wanting to microdose LSD for a while, just to try it, just to see if it helps me. Exercise induced anaphylaxis. No shit. So if you work out heavily, you put too much stress on your body, your muscles, your bones, you have an anaphylactic shock. The mushrooms fix it. Wow, very cool.
Trust the fungus.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have the only allergy I have is mosquito bites. Now everybody itches when they get bit by a mosquito, but normally your itch subsides in a couple of hours, and or even 45 minutes for some people, and you don't have any other symptoms apart from the itching. If I get bit by mosquitoes, I feel like I have the flu. I get runny nose, I get headaches, I get very sort of like nauseated, and I itch for days. Literally days, I will itch for days. So yeah, any kind of biting insect, like no-see-ums, mosquitoes. I think it's primarily mosquitoes, but yeah, I have a very bad reaction to bites, bug bites of any kind, like non-venomous bug bites. My doctors are all in Toronto, so now I have to figure out how to rejoin the living. Except the living suck. Hey, I resemble that remark. I don't know if I want to rejoin them.
Yeah, no, don't bother. It's terrible. If you could stay out.
How often do you go to Toronto for, well, you said you're not in page management, but I imagine you have to go for semi-regular checkups and treatments. How often do you go to Toronto, CMAC? I might get a job this year, not sure yet though, LOL. So you're not working. Or you might get a job in Toronto. I don't know. Well, in regards to MAID, so the idea that somebody who suffers from a condition that they have no control over, and is not through a result of like abuse of substances or anything like that. It's just a condition they have. They were born with, genetic, whatever. After a government has told you that we're going to take care of all your health concerns and you don't have to worry about paying out of pocket, now they're saying, yeah, you know what? Treating you is too expensive. It'd be better if you just killed yourself. Is basically, there's your argument against universal health care in a nutshell. Or
Yeah,
paid
I am
healthcare
now
in a nutshell.
convinced this is the logical end state of a single-payer healthcare system
Yep.
in a country that refuses to get its oil to Tidewater in particular.
Yeah. Ridiculous. I used to go all the time for physio. Okay. I'm technically a goldsmith. That's cool. Toronto's evil, right, Irving Twin? Yep. Irving confirm. But that's a side business. That's really cool. We're learning so many interesting facts about CMAC in tonight's live stream. It's really quite good. Yeah, 31,000 people. That's nuts. And it's to the point now. And I tell my normie friends, I tell my wife about it. She's like, "That's crazy. Why would they do that?" I'm like, how many times do I have to tell these fucking horror stories about what the government does before you start saying the government is bad and does not have citizens' interests in its mind? Government only cares about growing government. If you need a rare gem, let me know. Did you see Uncut Gems, Irving? Have you seen that?
No.
Adam Sandler's movie? It's like his serious. It's one of his serious movies. So Punch Drunk Love was his first sort of serious movie, and that was kind of interesting. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I liked it. But then he did this other movie called Uncut Gems, where he plays this sort of like scummy pawn shop jewelry reseller owner guy. And he gets an opportunity to buy an uncut, rare, really rare gem, like a giant. I want to say it's an amethyst, but it's like the size of like a big potato. It's like huge, right? And it's all of the shit that goes around that, and how all of his past decisions, that are reflected in how terrible a person he is. They all sort of come and coalesce and come back to haunt him. Anyway, it was really, really well good. It was critically well done. It was critically acclaimed, and he was really hoping for a Golden Globe or an Oscar nomination for it, and he didn't get one. He didn't win it. He may have been nominated, but he didn't win it. And so he made that Hubie's Halloween movie in response. He says, if I don't win this, I'm going to make the worst damn movie ever. And
Which is hilarious, because I've watched Hubie Halloween like 6 times now.
Really? Why?
It was so good.
Is it so good because it's so bad, or is it so good because it's actually genuinely funny?
It's actually genuinely funny, and there's a lot of like bad stuff that's so, like, that's the problem. When you do something intentionally bad, you're just making fun of other things that were bad.
Right.
So it turns out to be funny and good.
Yeah.
Because I fucking loved that movie.
Well, it's like The Room, right? Tommy Wiseau's movie, The Room. Did you ever see The Room?
No, I never saw it.
Okay, so The Room has a cult following because it's the worst movie ever made. Tommy Wiseau went into it making it like he was making a serious movie that was supposedly autobiographical in some degree, and it was so bad that when he went to screen it, people were laughing. They were laughing at it, and he was really upset that they were laughing at it, and people were like, no, don't be upset. They enjoy your movie. They're having a great time. And so he's like, oh, okay, so it's a comedy. And then he and they made a movie called The Disaster Artist about the making of The Room with James Franco and his brother and Seth Rogen and a whole bunch of other people. The Disaster Artist is actually a good movie, and it's actually enjoyable. but The Room is just fucking awful. But it's so it's like full of so many memes. Like, I did not hit her. I did not. It's bullshit. Oh, hi, Mark. You know that one. You know that. That's from The Room. Yeah.
Once you said Tommy Wiseau or whatever, I was like, oh shit, that long greasy haired guy.
Yeah. You can't take uncut gems out of some countries. Yeah, he got it. He ended up basically leveraging, family's money and his whole business to get this thing to win this an auction for this uncut gem, and yeah, he bought it, and then he had to put it up for auction because he wanted to make more money. But then he needed to pay off some debts, so he had to buy it back. And then he ended up losing money in the buyback process. It's actually a really good movie, and it shows you like this really slimy, sleazy character. It's really good. Highly illegal. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that it's illegal to do that. Anyway, yeah.
31,000.
31,000. So, smash a like button if you think 31,000 is too many people dying by the government's hand. Encouraging people or allowing people to kill themselves. And again, I've spoken about this before. If you are chronically ill, in constant pain, and you've got another 2 years or so of this pain you're going to have to live through before you finally kick the bucket, I think you should have the ability to say, no, end it now. There's no cure in sight. I can't deal with this pain anymore. The pain treatments, I've been smoking weed, I've been taking all sorts of painkillers. I have no real life because I'm constantly in a fog. I want to end this kind of thing. I think that's a reasonable approach, but the problem is it opens the door to, oh, you're depressed and you're a mature teenager, a mature minor, you're 17 and you're really depressed? Yeah, okay, we'll help you kill yourself. Don't worry, we won't tell your parents.
Which is not a thing as of now.
No, but they want to make it a thing.
They're pushing towards it. Now, here's something else that I had heard, and I don't know the truth of it, but I haven't heard anyone, because nobody talks about it in the legacy media, like you said.
Right.
I haven't heard anything that outright flatly denies it and says, no, that is not possible. But I heard, I can't confirm or deny, that it may be that if a doctor recommends you for MAID and gets 2 other doctors to sign off on it, they don't need your consent.
So they could just kill you.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. So death panels.
Yeah. Again, I don't know that that's true, but no one has just flatly denied it, let alone proven that that's not possible.
Wow, that's fucked up, man. That's so fucked up. So, CMAC says her favorite is Zoltanite, and I'm going to share a picture of Zoltanite because it is actually a pretty cool looking gem.
Weird.
That's pretty cool. Look at the price of it. $1,081 for that gem.
I can't tell how big it is.
Well, you can see it in their hand, right?
Oh, okay.
It's about the size. It's the size of one of those ring pops. You know those ring pop candy things you put on your...
that's huge.
Yeah, it's fucking gigantic. That's pretty cool, man. And it changes color. That's really neat. So it changes color depending on how the light's hitting it. That's really neat. Cool. I can understand why it's your favorite, C-Mac. That's a pretty cool looking gem. I'll tell you what.
I'm pretty basic. I just like sapphires.
My birthstone is the ruby, and I like the ruby.
I think sapphire might actually be my birthstone. I'm not sure, though.
You're what? December, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is, because my brother's blue sapphire and he's September, so I'm not sure. You might be a different sapphire. I don't know.
Uh,
All right. So CMAC says, with regards to assisted suicide, I'm still against it. I've seen miracles happen when I was living in the hospital for 5 years. I'm sure, yeah. I know that we shouldn't be the ones choosing. I lived on a palliative care ward, dying for 5 years. Oh my gosh. I've seen things, LOL. Women Talk with Craig and Irv. Well, hey, Puck.
Blue.
Yeah, we really are making it kind of the CMAC show tonight. It's true. We were talking to CMAC like...
No, we were looking up fucking gems and talking about how I like fucking sapphires, and it's blue topaz is my
Blue Topaz. Okay, there you go.
right. So that'll do. Yeah, sure, that's fine
I
too.
always jump in at the weirdest times. Yeah, that's all right, man. Good to see you, Puck. Thanks for popping in.
How's it going, man?
I wish you were drinking tonight, Irving.
Why is that?
Because
It would be a shit show already. Jesus.
No, because I kind of want to move on to this. Remember we talked about having a serious discussion, a serious stream about...
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm in the headspace for it right now,
No,
to be honest.
you got to be a little bit drunk.
Not even that.
No? You're just not in the... You've lost your faith after what happened over you the last few weeks. You're like,
I mean, yeah.
I'm not sure there is a God.
Pretty much, like, yeah, like, oh Lord, why have you forsaken me?
Hey man, that's when you need the Lord the most. When you feel
That's
like
true.
all is lost, right?
That is true.
Yeah, here I am, the unbeliever, telling you to trust in Jesus.
You're telling me to believe in my beliefs. There's nothing wrong with that.
I bought my wife a Tanzanite ring one year, and she took it off at a public washroom to wash her hands and forgot it, and she lost it. And I'm like, I'm never buying you another ring again. And she really liked the ring. Like, I bought it for her when we were... I think I bought it for her before we were even married. Or we might have just been married. So we were just married a short time. And it was like less than a year and she lost it. I was like, okay, that's the last ring I ever bought you. I'm joking. I will probably buy her a ring at some point. It's whirlwind of chaos, as always. No slow days in the apocalypse. So true, Pox. What happened?
No.
He's not going to get into it.
No. Let's talk more about my BMs.
There you go. He had a really bad BM, and it tore his ass up really hard. And then he made God, why would you visit this pain upon me? I feel like Job. What size? Oh my God. What size was the ring? Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to make her a new one? What size was the gem? The Tanzanite gem, it was a lighter purple color, but it was still definitely purple, because I know Tanzanite, I think there's only there's only a few mines left of Tanzanite. And I know that most of the Tanzanite coming out of Tanzania right now is much, much lighter than a lot of the ones that came out before. It was a deepish purple, but still lighter. It was a a triangle cut gem in a gold band, and the size, I don't know what the carat size was, or even if Tanzanite's measured in carats, but I'm gonna say it was probably about 3 or 4 millimeters across. If that makes any sense, in a triangle shape, 3 or 4. It was a decent size. It was all right. Best we can do is kill you. Yeah.
They already have. You missed that segment.
That's right. We already did, Fox. Yeah. Yeah. In terms of dealing with hardship.
Yeah.
I don't know who's better off. The unbeliever who says, "I got to get through this myself," or the believer who says, I've got somebody in my corner who can make miracles happen.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think if you're truly faithful, um, you always have that backup, right? If you're truly faithful and things are bad and then they get worse, you're always like, okay, well, I still have God on my side, so to speak. I still have, God watching out for me. So things can't be, things are getting worse, but I know He'll protect me, or I'll know I will see myself through this because of His, His support for me or whatever.
Mm.
Whereas the person who says, I'll see myself through this, and then they make a bunch of strategies to try and get through the problem, and then they don't work out, do they just fail? Do they just crumble? Or because you don't have anyone to help you, or you don't believe in anybody there to help you, are you much more careful about your planning strategy because you're not relying on faith? It's a good question. I don't know.
Well, there's some, pardon me, weirdness that I've seen with certain people. uh, like, that are adamantly claim they don't believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
but it's obviously bullshit because of how obviously they hate God. Like,
Yeah,
they're
I've
so
seen that.
bitter and resentful of their
Mm-hmm.
situation,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously they believe isn't in their control. It's like some outside omnipotent force has done it to them,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't believe in God. What? No, you think God did this to you?
Yeah.
You're blaming God for everything. What are you
Yeah, well,
talking
I mean,
about?
guys like Stephen Fry, who said, what about children being born with or having parasites in their eyes? Why would you make something like that? Well, I think you're cherry picking there, and it's not that God did it, right? He didn't decide those kids are going to have parasites in their eyes. Those kids have parasites in their eyes because parasites exist, and some kids get infected with parasites in their eyes
Yeah.
because the Christian would say because we're in a fallen world, right? Sin, suffering entered the world because of the fall. Because of being cast out of Eden, because of original sin, right? I wouldn't go so metaphorical. I just say it's a flawed universe. Like God didn't make. If God made earth and heaven, He didn't make earth like heaven, because heaven is something you aspire to. Heaven is something that you're rewarded with for living a good life, being a good person, being a Christian, right? So you have to go through the troubles in order to get the reward, so to speak. It's like hero's journey, right? Everybody's life is
Mm.
the hero's journey. Some more comments. It's called a trillion, says C-Mac, about the shape. I only have sapphires in that shape. I'm sure she'd love a sapphire. The believer, at least they have hope for what it's worth. Yeah, that's true. I died and the undied 3 times whatever is coming. I'm clearly stuck here for it. Yep, there you go. I'm not worried. Need more rum, lol. I thought you were on wine. Got it. We need more cathars. I'm not sure what cathars are. Do you know what cathars are?
No idea.
Yeah, and I see your point, Pox. You've always got that faith, right? And if you're truly faithful, you don't lose it. But there are those people who have faith and then lose it, right? Either they come to some realization about what it is they believed. They saw some hypocrisy in the organized structure of the religion they followed, or they suffered a tragedy and then lose their faith. Whereas the guy who doesn't have faith and maybe never had it, he becomes more reliant on his ability and the decency of others to see him through troubled times. And maybe that might be a better recipe, because if everybody was like, hey, the only way we're going to succeed in any given situation, any given tragedy, is if we work together, versus saying, if we pray to God, maybe He'll help us through this. I think they'll have a better chance of actually overcoming whatever it is they're going through, because they have to have their own determination to do it. That's just me speaking as an unbeliever. I'm not belittling the faithful. I am just saying that faith is something that you have but can be easily lost, whereas if you rely on yourself, you don't have anything to fall back on. Therefore, you, by necessity, have to become more capable or more realistic in your approach to trouble. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Rum and Coke now. Hey, that's my drink of choice. Rum and Coke, Cuba Libre, but in a fancy glass. Well, I don't care what glass.
It's only a Cuba Libre if you put a lime in it.
I always do.
Well, there you
As a
go.
matter of fact, if I get served a rum and Coke without a lime in it, I send it back. I'm like, can I get some lime, please? Or I ask for lime. Last time I did it at a restaurant, they brought me a rum and Coke. There was no lime, and I said, "Hey, can I get a slice of lime?" They came over with a plate full of slices of lime. I'm like, well, now I got more limes than I have rum and Cokes. I got like 5 more limes than I have rum and Cokes. I'm gonna need 5 more drinks. And so, sure enough, I ordered 5 more drinks. If you can lose your faith because of a hardship, did you really have it all, or was it just a facade or mask you made, a persona? Well, that's the thing, right? Are the truly faithful unwavering in their faith? And if that is true, that they're unwavering in their faith, then they always have that co-pilot, so to speak, right? But what I'm saying is humans are flawed, and everybody's faith is tested, and sometimes people fail that test. So I'm not saying faith is a crutch. I'm just saying that people who rely on faith may have out of the gate an advantage, but at the end of the day, they may find themselves at a disadvantage if somehow they lose their faith. People in the hardest places find faith the most often, in my opinion. Yeah.
I don't know if it's most often, but I have noticed people who find their faith in the hardest places tend to end up the unwavering faithful type, where there's nothing that can shake them now, right? That they found God as a young psychopath in prison who nearly murdered his father, right? And now they're a fucking preacher and a doctor of theology.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a real guy. That's David Wood. Okay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sure his story's not unique though. You hear about lots of people who've converted in prison because, you're in the, like you said, you're in the hardest possible place. You've lost everything that, that made you a divine individual. You have no freedom. Your entire life is dictated by powers above you who may not necessarily, should not necessarily have the authority to do that. But yeah, I did the Catholic school trip. I'm not sure what that is. So it gets beat into and then out of you. Oh.
Yeah.
Lost things can be found if you want them bad enough, though. That's true. You can always find your faith again. Nothing is ever really lost. You just stop looking. Box gave this arrow. Yes, it's true, right? So people do find their faith again. I'm reminded of the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. You've seen From Dusk Till Dawn with Harvey Keitel and George Clooney. So the one of the central characters is the priest who's lost his faith because he watched his wife watched his wife die, and he lost his love for God. So because he took his wife away from him, a guy who was very pious and was a good person, and basically went through the trouble that God in his wager with the devil put Job through, right? Made his life absolutely hell. So he lost his faith, right? But then they're fighting vampires, and George Clooney says, you're a preacher, but you lost your faith, and now you're wondering whether or not you have the power to fight these things. Well, listen, you can bless this water because the fact that they exist proves that God exists. do you have your faith again? So he found his faith again. Sadly,
Actually, are you a bad motherfucker, servant of God?
that's right. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. Um, and then I'm a bad motherfucker, servant of God. And he blesses the water, and he turns a shotgun and something into a cross, so he can hold the shotgun with something on the handle, so it looks like a cross. Great scene, but at the end of the day, he ends up getting bit and turned into a vampire. I'm also thinking back to D&D. My DM in college said we were talking about priests and faith and paladins, that sort of stuff. And he says, so who is closer to their god? You know, the scholarly antiquarian who, you know, pored over tomes his entire life and grew old and, you know, grew a long beard, learning every single word of God and committing it to memory and becoming, you know, this sage expert on the doctrine or whatever, and lived his life cloistered in a room reading and poring over these books, or the paladin who went out there, fought evil, became corrupted, lost his faith, lost his connection to his God, and then found it back again. Who is closer to God? And it's a good question, right? So the people who've always been faithful, how faithful are they? And the people who have gone through the shit, are they more faithful? Yeah.
Wow. So some of your audience might know this one here, that like you can think of like faith
Yeah.
as like a string that connects you to God. And if something happens, a series of events or whatever, and you lose your faith, that string is cut. But if you find it again, right, you take the string and you tie it together in a knot but now with the string and the knot, the string is actually shorter. And so you're closer to God for having had that journey, the prodigal son, right?
Right.
Lost and found again.
And one might even say that knot is probably the strongest point of that string too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting parable. Yeah. But again, in terms of faith, for terms of the unbeliever's faith, do I believe I have the wherewithal to see myself through any trouble? I have no idea. And I won't know until I get into that trouble. And who knows, I might get into trouble at some point and find myself pleading with a higher power.
There's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole.
To see myself out of it. I told you about the day I got robbed, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you haven't heard this story, I'll reiterate it. When I was 19 years old, I was working at a gas station at a midnight shift in Brawny in Oakville, and two armed robbers came in and robbed the place, and they tied me up, they threatened me, they took my money, and they told me they were going to torture me if I didn't give them the combination to the safe and all this sort of stuff. And at that time I was atheist, but in the moment I pled to God. I was like, please God, because at that point I really was at the mercy of these two criminals, and they weren't on my side, and I was alone, and there was nothing I could do to get myself out of that situation. I had nobody, right? So at that moment, yeah, I was a very faithful person, and I realized it was a moment of stress, and it was a moment of like pure desperation that led me to that point. And it didn't turn me into a long-term believer. And in the early 2000s, after the 9/11 attacks, when there was a lot of discussion about faith being a catalyst for bad behavior, and people who believe things without solid justification, who believe things based on faith, can do such horrendous things. The old Christopher Hitchens line. For a bad person to do something bad, it takes nothing, but for a good person to do something bad, it takes religion, right? So, meaning the idea that based on their faith in a belief in a higher power, belief in something other than what is, demonstrable in the here and now, will drive people to do things that they know otherwise would be evil, such as drive trucks into people in the middle of a Christmas market, or get on a plane and fly it into a building. That was my belief at the time, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be nice if we had a secular humanist society where people were making decisions, and that was what guided policy and determined how things would play out on a social level. And now look where we are.
Yeah, no. Now we remove children's genitals
Yep,
and murder people for being suicidal.
that's right. That's right.
Oh shit. No, and I mean, like, look, Christopher Hitchens may not have been wrong, except religion doesn't necessarily mean a sky daddy and a, thousands of year old book. It could just mean these things taken on faith, like what we used to call the social justice warrior people that they're doing all these terrible things because they believe in it religiously.
Right. It's dogma.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's dogma. Dogma is the problem. It's not religion, and it's not faith, and it's not belief in a higher power necessarily. It's dogmatic adherence to a warped worldview.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Saddest preacher death of all time. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
We fix broken things with gold often.
Before you move on from this part, though, okay, the next one.
The fixing makes them more valuable.
If I'm not mistaken, this is actually like a very particular Japanese art when it comes to bowls and cups and stuff. That broken ceramics, they're fixed with gold leaf, and they're actually really, really beautiful. But
yeah, of course, it makes it more valuable. You put gold in it. It's why Goldschlager costs as much as it does. I kept saying to people, you know what? If you're going to drink Goldschlager, you should filter out the gold. And they're like, well, why? You're never going to get anything. Yeah, but if you drink a lot of Goldschlager, you'll eventually get a decent amount of gold. And the fact is, but you already paid for it. I'm like, yeah. So, like, you used to return bottles so you get the money back on the bottle. You keep the gold.
And actually, if you keep the gold longer, the price of gold goes up.
That's right. It's not like they're making anymore.
Yeah.
So, C-Mac being all profound and shit. Aw, Pox. Not really, but you're sweet. Every time I've had to find my way back to God was when I tried to do life solo and fucked up severely. Hell, I got saved in a county jail. Again, right? You're in a desperate situation is when people find their faith, and that's understandable. And it's not like the whole adage of there are no atheists in foxholes. It can be used. It's typically used to besmirch atheism, right? But the turnaround is that my response to that when I was an edgy atheist, and I'm still an atheist, just not edgy, I said, yeah, there's no atheists in porno movies either. What's your point? Because at some point they're saying, oh God, oh God, oh yeah, oh God, that's real life, Pox. Well, yeah, life is suffering, right? Jordan Peterson says life is fucking suffering, and you have to see your way through it. And some people see their way through it with their faith in God, and some people, don't. And who's to say who are more successful? At the end of the day, we're all going to die, and the unbeliever might just end up in the ground as well as the believer, or the unbeliever might find himself in judgment as well as the believer. And I don't know if any one specific faith can determine what the criteria is for passing on into heaven. Like, you might say, well, I was a good Christian my entire life. I never cheated on my taxes. I never cheated on my wife. I was a good parent. And that might get you into heaven, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's finding faith on your deathbed that gets you into heaven. Or maybe it's the good works you do. Now, a lot of Christians will say, no, you can't get to heaven based on good works. But only through Christ, right? Only through devotion to Christ can you get to heaven. But I don't know. And I don't think anybody really knows, right? I had a gold leaf steaks for my birthday and a 24-karat gold leaf birthday cake. Now, that's just a waste of gold. You're putting heavy metals in your body, and they're going to wind up in the toilet and then eventually go out to sea. And then somebody's going to harvest that and make the money off the food you pooped out. That's okay. I already died. LOL. It didn't stick. Not afraid of it anymore. Well, that's cool. I'm not afraid of death. I not look forward to it. because as an unbeliever, I believe it's the very end of things. And so far, I'm liking life pretty good. Faith just helps you try to suck a little less. Yeah.
Yeah. There are none righteous. No, not one.
Who said that?
Jesus.
And who is he talking about?
Everyone.
Or not?
Exactly what Pox was just saying about how
Yeah.
everyone sucks. Faith just helps you try to suck a little less.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it is a crutch. No, I'm just joking. It's not a crutch.
No,
No, try and be a good person. Everybody should try and be a good person, regardless of what it is you believe, right? And it's only when you get fixated or ideologically possessed by a dogma of any sort, where I've talked about this before, your moral intuition, because I think we all have it, whether you believe in God or not, whether you're a Stone Age caveman before Jesus was ever born, we all have moral intuition, and it takes steadfast adherence to a dogma through ideological possession for us to violate our moral intuition and do things that we know are wrong, and do it in the name of being righteous.
Yeah, like the thing I've noticed is too many people have decided that they're good people, and then this plays into the logic of their decision making.
Well,
If
I'm a good person,
I-
so therefore anything I do is good.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
I desire this outcome, and if I'm a good person, I wouldn't desire a bad outcome. Therefore, the outcome must be good, right?
Right.
So, yeah, like it's but understanding that there are none righteous, suddenly you really have to think a little more about.
Right. So basically embracing humility.
Sure, I like
But
that.
can the unbeliever embrace humility? I would hope so. I think everybody can, and I think humility comes with age too. As you get older and you start to realize all the stupid shit you did, all the misdeeds you made, you start to realize, man, I could have done things so much better, and I will do things better going forward. But most people don't. Most people aren't that introspective, aren't that self-reflective. I think it takes work, and I mean, I'm by no means, an authority on being self-reflective, right? I'm not. I wouldn't claim to be a good person. I try to be a good person. Nice. You got this. Give middle fingers to the reefer. LOL. That's right. You know it. So we should have a Ammunation / Casual AF meetup with Costin, Six, Pox, Bajin, CMAC, you and me. Who else comes to the stream regularly? There's a few.
Some of your pals.
Some of my pals pop by now and again. We'll all meet up somewhere. Where is between Ontario, Kentucky, and Texas? Somewhere like geographically in the center.
Oh
Then we'll meet
God, it's Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. I'll have to look it up. Watch it be Virginia. We can all go play airsoft at Ballahack. That'd be awesome.
No, Houston, Texas screws everything up. It shifts everything way to the west. It's like Indiana or Ohio.
Yeah. Pox says, I'm not going to Canada. Well, I don't blame you. You shouldn't come here. Come get me. I don't drive. All right. Sounds good. I'll charter a plane. If we get enough people on a plane, we charter a plane, we get enough people on, it's actually not that expensive.
I'm still not allowed on a plane.
You don't have a passport? Or you
I
don't
don't have a
vaccine?
passport.
You're not vaccinated? That's the thing about charter flights. You don't have to go through that shit.
Really?
You don't even have to go through security.
I am actually friends with a pilot.
No shit, eh? Does he have his own plane?
No, but I'm sure he's got contacts.
Oh, sure. I'm sure he could probably short-term lease a plane if you want. I'm banned from everywhere. I can't go. I'm a pureblood. I'm
Pure bloods.
Pure bloods. Did you hear that Sweden is offering blood products of the unvaccinated to people?
Really?
Yeah, so basically in Sweden they want to basically give people blood in terms of operations and things like that has been donated from people who are unvaccinated
See,
over
and
people who have been vaccinated.
didn't they just take someone's kid from them because they wanted unvaccinated blood for their baby?
In Sweden?
No, 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 not from Sweden. Somewhere else, either here or the
Probably here.
U.S.
Probably here. Could be the U.S. I would think California or New York. Sounds like that. Let's go to Tombstone, Arizona. I'd love to go to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go eat, what's his name, Razorfist.
Yeah.
Invite him to our meetup.
Just give us a tour
Yeah.
of all of Arizona.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, Arizona. I want to go to Arizona. As a matter of fact, I want to buy land in Arizona because it's dirt fucking cheap there. I used to go every year and stay in Holbrook. I don't know where Holbrook is. That would be pretty close to a middle ground if my brain map is close to on point.
No, I think it's even farther west than 6. But I mean,
Yeah, Painted Desert would be cool. Yeah. Well, 6 is where in Texas? He's near-
San Antonio.
Okay, and that's in the north, right?
No, centralish.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Texas is fucking huge.
Yeah, I know.
Like what? Corpus Christi would be south, and Austin would be north.
Dallas, Fort Worth is more central, you said?
I think so.
Yeah. Painted Desert is cool, and so is the meteor crater. Oh yeah, that big meteor crater where they filmed Starman, the movie Starman. You ever see Starman?
A long time ago.
John Carpenter Starman, great movie. It is one of my favorite places, says Pox. We used to also stay in Greenville. Favorite place was the Washington Mountains. But Greenville has a lot of tornadoes. Yeah, that's the problem with the U.S. There's such a large area where they just have like tornadoes during tornado season. It gets crazy. Canada, we just have cold weather. We get tornadoes very rarely, but we do get them.
See, that's actually not true. We get quite a few tornadoes in Ontario, just nobody lives where they happen.
There's that, yeah.
But we're growing into those regions now, and that's why we're hearing about more tornadoes. It's not climate change making more tornadoes. we just live there now.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other argument, right? Well, storms have become more severe, the property damage. No, it's because we built more property, so more shit's getting damaged.
Yeah.
They haven't become more severe. Hurricanes are worse than no, they're not. They were worse in the 1800s. So, give me a break.
No, yeah, fucking Don Lemon there, fucking telling the climate, the meteorologist. No, they're worse now. No, they aren't. Yes, they
really
are.
No, they're not. I'm a fucking meteorologist. I know this shit. I don't know, Irving. I just don't know. It's a conundrum.
I like how we had this believer versus unbeliever conversation, and you just made all the believer arguments.
You know what it is, Irving? I like the sound of my own voice.
No, I mean,
Don't
I'm
stop
good.
talking.
Like,
If you let me go on and on and on.
If I let you keep talking, you'll convert yourself.
Yeah, probably right. I'll be a Christian before the end of the stream. No, I've said it before. I'm an agnostic atheist, right? I'm what they call a soft or a weak atheist.
Right.
Guys like Hitchens, they're strong atheists. They're not only do they not believe in God, they know that there's no such thing as a God. And I'm like, I don't know if I could ever commit to knowing anything like that.
No, yeah.
So-
The thing is, that's a fundamentally incorrect stance.
Yeah. Well,
You
yeah.
can't prove a negative.
Well, they speak with the authority as though they know
Yeah.
the truth, right? And it's Gnostic atheism, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Hitchens would go as far as saying he's anti-theist. Not only does he not believe in God, he's horrified by the idea that a god, such a thing exists, a central authority. But again, he's equating it to the trope of the sky daddy, right? This personal being who is looking down on you at all times and judging everything you do, like, you know, Big Brother. You know, like, it's good shorthand when you're talking to the people who are, you know, in your camp. It's not necessarily a good faith representation of what billions of people around the world believe, you know?
Yeah.
I used to do a 1-month road trip around the U.S. for my birthday every October to New Orleans, and then home. I can drive you around the state. Excuse me, easy. Oh my God, I'm yawning. Sorry.
It's getting late.
And I can get weed everywhere. LOL. It is getting late. It's almost 1. Based. All I know is I don't know nothing. Some Greek fig, probably. That was Socrates, right? Greek quote pucks. I love that one. I ain't no shit. I don't know nothing about nothing. That's what makes you the wisest man in Greece.
Yep.
What? You imagine Socrates speaking fucking hood?
So there's been
bitch, I don't know nothing about nothing.
There's been a number of classics that have been translated into, for lack of a better word, Ebonics, because we keep oversimplifying them, like taking Homer and making it like more modern English. And something like the Iliad 2075.
Was it do the right thing where the guy does the Play-Doh? He basically does like a hip hop sort of like representation of Play-Doh.
I don't remember.
It's been years since I saw it, but I'm like watching. I'm like, oh man, that's kind of cool. That's a neat take on the philosophy. I love that one. Me neither anymore. I might be drunk.
A little bit.
C-Mac, look up the Green Day song, Knowledge. Knowledge. Drunk would be nice right now, LOL. Well, it is Friday. Tonight's the night to get drunk. I've got people coming over. The reason we're doing a live stream tonight, folks, is normally we would do it Saturday, but I asked Irving if we could do it tonight. And it was supposed to be on your channel, but you said, no, you do it. Because tomorrow I have guests coming over, and I don't know that they're going to be leaving my house before 10 o'clock. So I just said, hey, let's move it. So, but it is getting late. I do have a lot of shit to do around the house tomorrow before they come over. Because the wife and I, we live like slobs until company come over, and then we clean the house up. I won a world championship to a Green Day song. How do you win a world championship to a song? Funny story. Oh, well, let's hear it. We should just invite her into the chat, like into the stream.
One day.
Send a link to her. What song and what championship? Yeah. Basket Case. I'm not sure I know that song.
Yeah, it's like the first Green Day song.
Like the first big one?
Yeah.
How's it go? Sing the
I can't
first two
remember.
bars. DCI Drum Corps Color Guard Individualist.
Doom 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 doom.
I
Sit around and that one.
Right. Okay, I know that song.
DCI Drum Corps Color Guard Individuals. Holy shit.
That's kind of cool. I have stories, LOL. One time at band camp, she's telling us in the last stream that she gets compared to Allison Hannigan from American Pie. One time at band camp, I did ballet. Oh wow. Hey, I realized I got shit here. I can put people into timeout. I can put user in timeout or block user. I'm not gonna block anybody though. You should tell them sometime, yo. Yeah, C-Mac, do you have a channel? I mean, you have a YouTube account, or at least a Google account. If you have a YouTube channel, you should shill it so we can share it. Pox used to have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I think it still exists. You just
Doesn't upload to it.
yeah.
Like you. We call them camp weekends, so yeah. Not anymore. My old horse died. Oh,
No.
yeah. C-Mac's got like, she
Yeah,
sounds
when I
like she's
grow
got
up,
a
I want to
lot.
be C-Mac.
Yeah, she sounds like she's got a lot of stories. She's lived a pretty interesting life.
And
Not
wait,
me.
which kind of ballet? I can't remember all the different kinds of ballet, but there's like basically like a classic standard ballet, and then there's Russian ballet.
Oh, she had one. Her channel was riding, and now I have to start riding a new baby horse. Oh, nice. My old horse died. I have a new one now. Okay, well, share the link. I'm 40. I'm old now. Fuck you. I'm 40. I'm old.
She did hood ballet.
Hood ballet.
Because I'm not going to say the word right, but there was a time at the height of my martial arts that I was also dating a ballerina, and she Russian. Okay, so maybe shit. I don't think this is Russian. It's like one of the few moves that isn't in the Russian. I could
That's all it's
do.
working. uh, I did a Russian man. That's fine.
I could do a gargouillard.
You could do ballet?
No, I could do a gargouillard.
What's a gargouillard where you
I
lift the
can't explain
ballerina?
it. I
Is that
can't
where you
explain
lift the
it.
ballerina up?
No. It's a move. It's like a jump with spinning and shit, like spinning legs.
That's kind of cool.
It is really fucking weird.
I can't dance. I dance like I'm in the 7th grade dance.
Oh yeah, me too.
You know, hands on the hips, hands on the shoulders. I chair dance okay. If I'm at a club and there's good music, I can chair dance. I can sit, bop to it,
Just groove a little.
groove a little. Yeah, I can do that. It's called Vagovana.
Vagovana.
Vagovana. Yeah, I'm talentless. I can sing. Oh well, okay. I'm not a bad singer, but other than that, I used to do voices in college for fellow animators. So I studied animation in college, and whenever they were making their short film for their final project, a bunch of them would get me to do the voices for characters. So I did like voiceover, narration, that kind of stuff sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Not doing white boy dances. It's moving both legs in opposite directions while in the air. Okay, I've seen that. Not doing white boy dances. That's all I know how to dance. I'm a white boy. I'm a white man. Yeah, you saying you're old at 40 is insulting to old people like me. I'm 52.
I just turned 41. Fuck.
I'll be 53 in July.
I'm not 40 anymore. I'm 40 something. Jesus.
I'm 50 something. I'm thinking of retiring early.
Go for it.
Well, normally you retire at 60, and I don't think I can collect CPP for all what it's worth until I'm 60, or old age security until I'm 60.
Hold on. You can't tap your CPP until you're 60, but you can only tap it for like 60%, and that doesn't change when you turn 65. If you wait till 65, you tap it for 100%.
Okay, so if I want to... See, I was thinking of retiring early at 55.
Just don't tap your CPP. Be careful with your RSPs. And also, when and if you do tap your CPP, remember you have to adjust your withdrawals from your RSPs, because if they see that you're making too much money, they'll cut your CPP.
Yeah, which makes no sense because we invested in it. It's supposed to be a retirement plan. In reality, it's just a Ponzi scheme. But
Yeah, it's literally a pyramid scheme.
Mm-hmm. Canada Man, not me. Canada Man was on Twitter today because somebody in Alberta, an NDP rep in Alberta, was talking about how Daniel Smith's plan for the pension plan in Alberta is going to is gambling with it. I'm like, what the fuck do you go? Well, I said this, but Candyman said CPP is a Ponzi scheme. People should have the right to opt out and invest their money as they see fit. The government steals the money and basically risks it all on a pyramid scheme. And the fact is, we're not having enough babies, so there's nobody to replenish it. So it's going to become insolvent on its own. And personally, I think, in terms of all of the sort of payroll deductions that you have, CPP, and I've talked about income tax, EI, these are things you should be able to opt in or opt out of. You shouldn't be forced to pay into CPP. You should say, you know what, I'll take that, whatever it is, off each paycheck, and instead I'll put it into an RRSP, or I'll buy Bitcoin, or I'll buy gold, or whatever. You should be free to do that. The fact that you can't opt out is like criminal to me. That's taxation is theft.
Yeah. You know, like my dad passed 11 years ago now. And so he was 60 something. The first thing he didn't make it to 65. And the first thing they did was chop his CPP down by 40% and start paying it out to my mom. Then when her CPP kicked in when she turned 65, they just stopped giving her my dad's. Well, you have your own now, so you don't need your husband's. And then the RSPs that she had, and the money that he left for her. Oh, well, you make too much money annually, so we're going to cut your CPP, right? Because all of this socialist bullshit, they can't afford it. And now it's like, you know what? We're just going to have to start killing you because all these things that we've been promising you over these decades, turns out it's entirely unsustainable.
Yeah.
But also, we need...
So you're only going to have black babies, is that right? Swarthy babies. I'm only gonna have babies with swarthy men.
Swarthy.
When my mom was in the hospital, I put that on the, they have the little whiteboards, right? And they say, this is Evelyn. My mom's name was Evelyn. She likes this, and this, right? Well, I erased, like, she likes apple juice or whatever the hell they had there, right? I said, and swarthy men. Have to make people laugh, especially when they're at their lowest. Yeah, but it's not as fun as being kicked in the spine or windmilling niggas in the face with spike bracers. Jesus Christ. On the windmilling thing sounds fun. LOL. Mine is 17 years this year. I'm almost done. LOL. So you're 40 and you have a 17-year-old child. It is, and now I get to pass on the secrets of the pit to my daughter. College is calling her. Oh, nice. Tell her not to take feminist women's studies or critical race studies or any of that shit. My nephew is dating a girl in college right now, and I said, hey, Michael, if she comes back and her hair's dyed pink and she starts talking about the patriarchy, fucking dump her, man. And I said that in front of her. And she goes, oh, no, that's not going to happen. I'm like, really? You're not going to take women's studies? I think we have to take some sort of, like, social studies sort of thing. I'm like, we'll take anything other than women's studies. You'll just come out of it hating men and thinking you're a victim.
The Zoomers are pretty based.
Yeah,
They're getting there, man.
Yeah, they are. I don't know if you can call her a child anymore. She makes my coffee. Oh, nice. Yeah, everyone's a child to me because I'm an old man. I'm 52. She's going to come back with free tree frog hair and a septum ring. She does digital art and animation. I homeschooled for 10 years. Nice. I did animation. Where's she going to college? Sheridan College is a good college for animation. It's like one of the best. No public education. Well, good. But it's full of woke assholes too, just like every other college in Canada. Well, sir, I don't know what else to talk about. Is there anything on your mind you wanna talk about?
No,
No.
no, I've been busy. I haven't really been keeping up to date with current events.
But you know what? No one tells jokes anymore, Irving.
Me neither. I don't even have any jokes.
Oh fuck! I gotta find a joke now. I should prepare. Like I always put this thing up, and I never prepare for it. Let me see if I can find a joke.
I realize I haven't like heard except from you, which means I can't tell them jokes. Like, yeah, no one tells jokes anymore. It's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Okay, here's one. A pair of cows. A pair of cows were talking in the field. One says, "Have you heard about the mad cow disease that's going around?" "Yeah," the other cow says. "Makes me glad I'm a penguin." It's fucking terrible. Let's see what else.
Okay, speaking of cows,
Yeah.
okay, so the students of the English as a second language course, right? It's their day to what's it called? To give like their spoken presentation to the class to be marked, right? And this guy goes up to the front. He's giving his presentation. He says, "Cows. We all have cows in our life. Cows at work, cows at home, cows just out in the street. How do we reduce the cows in our lives?" And the teacher says, "It's pronounced chaos."
Shit. Okay, here's another terrible one. Why don't pirates take a shower before they walk the plank?
Why don't they take a shower before they walk the plank?
They just wash up on shore. It's fucking terrible.
My cows one was good.
Your cow's one was good. These are fucking terrible. These jokes that I'm reading. They're on the Reader's Digest fucking website. I'm like, Reader's Digest. You guys have no sense of humor. You guys are fucking lame.
Reader's Digest still exists?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they have a website anyway. Oh my god, these are fucking terrible. Oh, no wonder they're all like from the 1950s.
Ugh.
Fucking terrible. I gotta find a good one. I gotta find a good like Norm Macdonald style joke, because those are my favorite. But anyway, that's our jokes for tonight. Okay, I got one. Maybe I said it. Oh, okay. I'll go back to that later.
Worst jokes ever. Now I'm bored and drunk.
They are pretty bad. I apologize, folks. All right. What did the fish say? Did I tell this one already? Maybe I did. If I did, I'm really, really sorry. What did the fish What did the fish say when it swam into a wall?
What did the fish say when it swam into a wall?
Damn. All right, folks, that's it for Ammunation. It's been fun, except for the last couple of minutes. It's pretty pathetic. Promise we'll have a decent joke next time for no one tells jokes anymore. Let me cover some of these comments.
Yeah, you got to go back.
That we've missed because there's been like a dozen. She does digital art. Okay, no public education. So far, online courses with the software program creators. Nice. She's been featured in shit online since she was 12. Well, that's cool. His tutorials for art programs already. Very cool. She makes based anti-commie memes. Good for her. I'm so proud.
You should be, and you should be.
You should be. That's great. Is milk from a schizo cow hallucinogenic? Yeah, I wonder. If you fed cows like nothing but weed, do you think their milk would make you high?
Maybe.
Would they eat it though? That's the thing. Worst jokes ever. Okay, now I'm bored and drunk. Look up Victoriansland. I don't know what that is.
Victorian slang.
Oh, slang. Victorian slang. Why, Pox? I'm lazy. Some of the greatest wordplay I've ever seen. My rum has a pirate. That's because you're talking about the pirate joke. They die of malnutrition. Reindeers eat mushrooms and people eat the reindeer piss to get high.
Yeah.
Really? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So hallucinogens pass through the liver and kidneys, and it's still active. That's kind
It's actually more potent that way, but you've removed all the stuff that makes you feel sick.
Oh, really?
So yeah, all the tummy troubles you might experience.
You're just drinking deer piss, so you know.
So the Vikings figured this out, but then eliminated the reindeer, and they would just have one Viking eat a whole bunch of fucking mushrooms, and then he, being all sick and shit and fucked up, would just piss in the mead, and then the berserkers would drink the mead and get fucking high as shit and start biting on their shields and smashing themselves in the face and charge the enemy basically naked. Yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. I had no idea. That's real. Piss drinking weirdo hippies. Yeah, man, that's why reindeer fly. Yeah, no doubt, right? No doubt. So what you're saying is that Santa Claus is actually like El Chapo of the North Pole. He grows psilocybin in like igloos, feeds it to his deer, and then goes around and passes presents, which is basically he delivers his product to little boys and girls all around the world once a night, once every year, on
Yeah.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good racket. Anyway, folks, my joke was way funnier. Yes,
It was, yeah.
It was. You're right. You're right. We're lame. Apologies. But we are going to bring it to a close because we've been going now for, 2 hours and a bit. And I've got to go to bed and get up early tomorrow morning and clean my house. So, folks, thank you for joining me tonight in the Ammunation, my Ammu Nationals. Irving, thank you for being my co-host once again. And
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You're always welcome. And thank you all for your comments, your stories, just making this live stream thoroughly entertaining and interesting. And we will talk to you all soon. Any last words there, Irving?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Because actually, tomorrow, like this weekend, is Christmas for the Orthodox people.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
If you're Orthodox, Merry Christmas. Or New Year, or whatever it is. It's Christmas?
Christmas, yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. Thanks again. And we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Hail Sigmar.